may not ever need to read these again, but that doesn't mean they don't have value.
Oh my gosh, can you believe the writers just did that? Of course you can, because it just happened. I mean, wow. They spent a whole episode talking about sentimental value, and then they blow up your home just because, reasons. Oh, come on, you gotta find that a little funny. Wait, no you don't. This is a tragedy for you, and I am horrible for even thinking of laughing at a time like this. I'm sorry, Twilight. I'm afraid my empathy is all messed up because this is not the first time Hasbro's advertising has brought the pain.
I fear the wounds are fatal.
Do not grieve. Soon, I shall be one with the Matrix.
Wait a minute. Where's this matrix of leadership coming from? We never saw that before when Prime opened up his chest. And he's done that a lot since this is, the third time he's been shot up? He got disassembled in that one episode, so how come he's dying here? Speaking of deaths, what the heck was up with Prowl? That image is gonna haunt me through adolescence. And another thing.
Part of my life suddenly makes sense. The finale. This feels so daunting, because I'm reviewing more than an episode here. I'm reviewing a formula. The Friendship is Magic two-parter formula. It makes for a nifty Mad Lib. Twilight Sparkle is concerned about her purpose, and is feeling depressed. But there's no time to dwell as Equestria is in danger from the evil tirek, and the royal ponies cannot help. Twilight travels to Canterlot to try and help, but she becomes separated from her friends and all seems lost. The villain's arrogance creates an opening, and her friends reunite to defeat their enemy with the power of rainbows. That conveniently solves everything. Twilight learns a lesson that answers her personal dilemma, and she's rewarded with a new toy sale. The end. Well, that's not very funny. I bet you guys can do better. I put a copy of this on my DeviantArt account. Give it a try while I fill in farts for everything. The thing about formulas is that the more we see, the more obvious and damaging it becomes. But you may say, Silver, you handsome hippogriff. If all two-parters are similar, how can you like one over another? To sum it up in one word, investment. Do I feel a stake in Twilight's ordeal, or does a blockade keep me uninterested? I rooted for Twilight in both the series premiere and Return to Harmony because they were very conflict-driven tales where she had a lot to lose. She had just as much to lose in a Canterlot wedding, yet I couldn't get invested because I never really cared for Cadance and Shining Armor. By a similar notion, I had no investment in the fate of the Crystal Ponies, yet Princess Twilight broke the losing streak by having me invest once again in her personal struggle. Her struggle begins anew with her wondering about her role. After all, going all the way to the Crystal Empire to unfurl a banner does seem like a waste of time.
The Duke and Duchess of Mertonia.
I liked Padme Amidala. Still good for you, Flash. You got a speaking role, and Bronies didn't threaten to rip your head off this time. You got off better than Twilight, who had to wait outside while the other royals discussed important matters.
Thank you for understanding our desire to keep the number of those privy to these confidential discussions to a minimum.
Translation, this is a kid's show, and we don't want to go all George Lucas on our audience. But Twilight's unsettled because everything she's done as a princess has been to smile and wave for the crowd, a topic I touched on in my princess debate video. I wonder if this is the result of Tradia, where Twilight's role as a mediator didn't come to fruition since the ponies settled the matter without her ruling. And that's the strength of this two-parter. Older episodes are cast in a new light based on these events. Plus, I like that Twilight's struggling with this question. She's the counterbalance to the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Twilight knows what she's good at, but that doesn't mean her life is spelled out for her. And she's the only member of the main six who can face this question, since the others are either content with their roles or well on their way to achieving their dreams. It's too bad, however, that I think this episode misses the mark. It starts with Twilight framing the issue.
Well, it's just that Princess Luna raises the moon, Princess Celestia raises the sun, you protect the Crystal Empire.
This episode places way too much emphasis on titles, such as Princess of the Sun, Moon, and Princess of Merchandising. We know from Hearthwarming Eve and the Journal of the Two Sisters that unicorns can control the sun and moon. It takes combined effort and is a huge toll, but it's not impossible. And Cadance flat out said that the Crystal Empire is so perfect and peaceful that nearly being killed by a Tatzelworm was fun, thereby reinforcing my belief that Cadance is an adrenaline junkie. So I'd argue that their respective titles are the least of their duties, as this opening scene portrays. Couple that with a song that tries to reassure Twilight about her role by saying, "You are a princess and therefore everything will be fine." I did enjoy the melody, and while I may be a Luna fanboy, I give Cadence the title of Best Singing Princess. Just don't expect a title to guarantee your future. I need to make this clear for younger fans. Titles can set standards, but they don't bestow qualities. You bring that to a role with your own knowledge, your own skills, and your attitude, and that's what you use to build a future. But while I'm harping on this point, a random pony is having a bad night.
Is he friend or is he foe? The pony wonders. I can assure you, I am no friend. And I will take what should have been mine long ago.
We have our first repurpose of a G1 villain in Tirek, who enjoys a very different backstory. In that, unlike his G1 counterpart, he actually has a backstory. Boy, did I get a kick out of this guy, while he was weaker. But first we need to talk about Celestia's new ability. She has prophetic dreams, which explains much of how she's been able to stay one step ahead of the game for part of the series. I'm guessing these dreams are not consistent, however, since she wasn't able to avoid being abducted by foliage or turned into a piñata. Her dreams do allow her to set the stage for Tirek's backstory, including him being betrayed by his more open-minded brother, and the fact that no pony except Starswirl the Bearded did anything ever before Twilight and company hit the scene. But Tirek escaped imprisonment during the events of It's About Time, meaning that Freakout Twilight was technically correct about disaster. So it's time for Equestria's rulers to come up with a counterattack.
And I know just the princess who could stop him.
I was gonna laugh at Cadence for that line because it seems like she's saying, we know it's gonna come down to Twilight anyway, so why fight it? But I realize she's trying to lift Twilight's spirits, for which I can't fault her. But you could volunteer and join her on this quest. Wouldn't that be dangerous? And life-threatening? And fun? Maybe your husband can get captured again, and you can rescue him.
I'm afraid I must call in another to stop Tirek. Discord.
Never mind. Have fun in your incredibly peaceful and underutilized empire. So yes, it's up to Discord to track down Tirek and stop him from stealing magical power from every pony in Equestria, which should seem easy since Tirek is so weakened, but that's what makes him the most enjoyable villain to date. Every other antagonist, including Discord, was far more powerful than our heroines. Tirek starts off weaker, so he relies on a silver tongue to convert Discord back to the wicked path. Tirek is shown as clever, manipulative, and self-controlled. Yet Tirek isn't just evil for evil's sake, he genuinely views the ponies as inferior, and their friendship is a different kind of prison. This harkens back to Discord's views in Three's a Crowd, where he too treated the idea of friendship as a set of obligations rather than anything personal.
Woe is me. Will I ever learn the intricate nuances of being a good friend?
He does, however, set Twilight on the path to opening the mystery box. You know, that thing Twilight said was so important and then ignored for 22 episodes? I don't know why she thinks that there would be a book about a box that has never been seen before, and she casually strolls through the oh-so-dangerous Everfree forest to do research, yet there's a curious moral hidden here. Twilight realizes that the box and the items that the main six collected could be linked, and they have those items because each pony stayed true to who they really are, even though it wasn't convenient. So one way to view this is that when you don't know what you're supposed to do, staying true to yourself can open avenues you don't yet see. The only problem is that Twilight hasn't made any new friends this season. Oh, she's tagged along as other ponies met new friends. But when I think about Twilight, the only second-tier characters I associate with her exclusively are the royal family and Trixie.
Hey!
Forget criticizing this episode. This is a problem in a series called Friendship is Magic. The main six clique can be bound so tight that it shuts out the rest of the world. Is it any wonder Discord didn't feel invested in their friendship beyond Fluttershy? Well, Celestia done goofed. So how is she going to handle the fact that Tirek is absorbing more and more magic across Equestria thanks to Discord?
We must rid ourselves of our magic before Tirek has the chance to steal it from us.
Logical foul, Princess Celestia, 3-point street cred. Fans have devoted a lot of energy to picking apart the flaws in this plan. Rather than go through the list, and believe me, I'd like to get at the heart of this problem. Because everything that fans have pointed out, from the lack of an end game to forgetting about Discord again, are symptoms of an overall approach, removing the royals. And no, that is not me getting my inner Marxist on. When Celestia first disappeared, there was a genuine fear of what would happen to Equestria. it had no defenders, and so the burden shifted to an unlikely band of heroines. Now those heroines have become the norm, yet we also have the ruling princess, her restored sister, their niece who runs an empire, and her captain of the guard husband. These are ponies who should be involved when a crisis arises, yet the writing staff seems to treat them as a roadblock to Twilight's events. So every story devotes a portion of time towards removing them rather than allowing participation. Sometimes their removal is downright embarrassing. Speaking of embarrassing, hi, Shining Armor. Bye, Shining Armor. Wow, I can only think of one way this could get worse for him. Wait for it. There, your plot is now the #1 meme on Facebook. Don't worry, I'm sure that one day you'll get to be something other than a dumbass in distress for Twilight to save. The upside of this scene is that we get to see Discord begin to doubt his choice, which turns into a nice character arc. But first we have to witness Tirek at his second most powerful, and to be honest, I find him less impressive now that he's stronger. I call it Eisen syndrome. A villain becomes so powerful that planning and guile go out the window because he is now a powerhouse. Oh, he's a threat, don't get me wrong, yet to me, he's a less interesting character. Rather than holding the depowered princesses as hostage or trying to get the information out of them, he banishes them to Tartarus and out of the story, because the writers have no further need of them. He's also completely oblivious to Twilight's attempts to lower the moon and raise the sun. I wonder if the moon still influences the tides like it does in the real world. Oh, here's my answer. Twilight's doing her best to both master her enhanced power and keep the change hidden from her friends, because Celestia said so. And part of the reason I've been so harsh on Celestia's teaching methods is because this isn't how she used to be. Though she was absent for most of the series premiere, she made sure that Twilight had everything necessary to face the crisis, perhaps even checking the library's stock. In Return to Harmony, when Twilight was at her weakest, Celestia gave her exactly what she needed to turn things around. Yet after a Canterlot wedding, Celestia changed. No longer offering support behind the scenes, she started to impose limitations. And I don't understand why that's necessary other than to force drama. One could argue it's all part of some master plan, but even Dumbledore let Harry have a little help from his friends. And since part of this grand decision was to not warn the other main six about Discord, they're captured and drained of magic without so much as a chase.
Surely you saw this coming?
I didn't. I really didn't.
Though to Discord's credit, or an oversight by the writers, he never mentioned that Shining Armor was Twilight's brother and therefore an easy hostage. I'm not sure even Discord knows whose side he's on. That is, until we finally have the heel turn in this partnership.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal!
Surely you saw this coming.
I didn't. I truly didn't.
Not terribly subtle, but it does highlight a point. Discord has always been the manipulator and the betrayer. He's never been on the receiving end. This is the start of him genuinely embracing the idea of friendship because he's felt what it's like to lose everything, even his magic. Yet for all his draining of flight, strength, and now chaos magic, Tirek doesn't seem to adopt those qualities. It's more like he's drained the raw energy without a specialization, and even then, it's still not enough to overcome the magic of 4 alicorns. It is enough to send fans a-crying as Twilight's library is destroyed. And I truly can't be upset about this because I knew she was going to get new digs, and there was no loss of life. Except... not the bees! Twilight is righteously ticked now, and it's time for a battle worthy of
Dragon Ball Z. You know, that medium with gratuitous battles in every other episode.
Not 1 minute ago, she couldn't control teleporting. Now she's throwing Gallic guns and Kamehamehas at Tirek like she's Goku and Vegeta. What?
Do I hear a power level in the house?
The references are over 9,000! 9,000! Come on, I can do this! Come on, you bastard! 9,000.
Sensibine! It appears we are at an impasse.
Baloney, she's kicking you up and down the landscape.
I'm still right.
The big debate is whether or not this scene was necessary. Some fans enjoy the spectacle, while others see it as a waste of time since Twilight was not able to defeat Tirek alone. Yet to understand the scope of the group's victory, I think we need to see her struggle alone first. Of course, friendship doesn't make things easy. Tirek shows a little bit of his original guile as he uses Twilight's friends as leverage. Yeah, he kinda dropped the ball with the 3 princesses and the prince, but at least he got it right on the 3rd try. And Twilight finds her rainbow connection as she sticks to what she knows is important. Discord completes his arc, humbled and grateful to Twilight for freeing him. Still, the ponies have their 6th key and the villain, once again, ignores them thanks to arrogance. Or perhaps it's the divine protection of John Delancey's voice. You didn't seriously think I'd let this joke go, did you? So it's time for the Rainbow Connection arc to pay off as the ponies open the box and are rewarded with their new Rainbow Power! Incredible new forms that possess unlimited energy! Oh, who am I kidding? I look ridiculous, and so do they. These new forms are a visual riot. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to look. At their oversized manes, their enhanced cutie marks, or the additional marks on their hooves. 1 is overwhelming, 6 is an eyesore. Yet I will credit Hasbro in designing something so simple to produce. All they have to do is use different fibers and stickers to sell the kids the exact same toy.
But she's got a new hat.
In terms of marketing and budget, it's genius. Hasbro, you magnificent bastards, I read your catalog! And these new powers really are the elements of Harmony 2.0, as they not only redistribute the magic across Equestria, they also free the princesses and return Tirek to Tartarus. Hey, you should be glad that wasn't the G1 rainbow. That thing's a psycho killer. And while I don't like the rainbow power forms, the staff wisely kept them to the minimum screen time. So we could move on to our next big ticket product, Twilight's new castle, which is magically bestowed by the Tree of Harmony. It may not be as bad as the rainbow powers, but dang, there's going to be an adjustment period with this.
It's hardly in keeping with the village's rustic aesthetic, is it?
Yeah, what he said. Plus, having the Tree of Harmony give her this new castle just feels empty. Here's an alternative. Discord and the princesses return, bringing with them ponies from all over Equestria. Ponies that Twilight and company just saved. And in gratitude, the ponies build her a new home over the course of a montage. And since the crystal ponies are a part of this endeavor, of course it's going to have crystal elements. And so Twilight could realize that her kingdom is made of friends, and she has the support of a nation behind her. Yet before it sounds like I hate this ending, I was thrilled to see the roundtable arrangement for her friends. Unlike Magical Mystery Cure, this ending feels like it hasn't forgotten the main 6. Whatever happens next, whatever Twilight's role, she will face it alongside her friends, and that's pretty special. Time to close out with another pop song that checks in on every support pony from the Rainbow Connection arc. And right away, I enjoyed this song way more than You'll Play Your Part, because it focuses on the world that our heroines live in. We even get a little hint that Discord's carrying a torch for Celestia.
It's more a display of apology than...
Never mind. Was I invested in this story? Definitely. I enjoyed Twilight's uncertainty and her shared arc with Discord, and I'm glad that the show remembers that Twilight's new role doesn't need to exclude her closest friends. Yet I think this finale is pulled down by how overt the formula has become, to the point where events feel more like a checklist than part of the story flow. The main 6 click and work in slice of life episodes, but when the entire world faces a crisis, I'd like to think other ponies could show our heroines some support. Taking as a whole, Twilight's Kingdom may not be my favorite 2-parter, but it is my favorite season finale. And what a season it was. I especially feel like, you've come to give me my just comeuppance, haven't you?
Yup.
Well, I can't say it's undeserved. After all, I've not only made many jokes at the Royals' expense this episode, I've also lit forests on fire, invaded a pony's privacy, terrified other ponies with visions of the future or barbershop quartets. I've launched them into space, lectured them on being siblings. But really, Big Mac, were those shipping jokes so bad?
Yup.
Oh, okay then. Guess that just confirms that I am not a nice guy. Yet I'm grateful to all of you for such a fun season. It had its strong moments and its weak moments. I've enjoyed both watching the show and poking fun at it. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you again in Season 5. And, as one final thought...
Meep, meep.
I'm Silver-Quill. Thanks for watching.